Howdy, I'm Clay Kalmbach with Bear Builds, and today I'm doing my official 2023 Woodshop tour. I've been wanting to do a tour for a while now, and I wanted to actually do them each year that I've done my YouTube channel, but now I'm finally getting around to it. But without further ado, let's get started with it. This garage is actually a 3-car garage, and my dad and I technically have about a car and a half's worth of the garage itself. My mom uses the far right side of the garage for staging for her real estate projects. And then we also have my dad and my side partially taken up by our mudroom on the other side of that wall. Starting off, this is the toolbox we call the Green Monster. It's actually a gift from my Uncle Jason, and this is sort of our automotive toolbox. It has a bunch of socket sets and ratchets and everything that you would ever need to work on vehicles. Since I have an 08 F-150, it needs a lot of repairs done to it at all times. So whenever it's time to do any kind of maintenance or any kind of work on it, this is my best friend right here. A pretty common theme with a lot of the tools and a lot of the furniture in the garage is that they're portable, so we can use them for any environment that we would need, and also because we normally park a vehicle in the garage at night. This right here is our scrap wood storage. This is technically our small scrap storage. Anything that's under about 3 feet normally goes in anywhere on these shelves. As you can tell, we have a few other things here as well, but has a tendency to happen in a garage. Underneath the short storage, we have the generator, the floor jack, and the air compressor. Of all these down here, I think the air compressor gets the most attention from me, and occasionally I'll use the floor jack whenever I'm working on my truck. So with this side being the short scrap storage, this is our long scrap storage, and as you can tell, things have a tendency to accumulate. We also have our wood clamps right up here. This is a very simple shelf that my dad actually put together, and it's held up and it does a really good job for us. And we actually keep our hose for our shop vac on the end of it as well. These two tools right here are probably the most important in the shop. This is my rigid table saw. I'm a huge fan of it. It gives me fantastic accurate cuts, and I love how the table itself is able to sort of telescope, give me a larger range of cuts that I'm able to make. This is my Craftsman miter saw. Huge fan of it as well. It gives me super accurate cuts, and I have it on a saw stand with wheels, which makes it easy to transport anywhere here in the garage. Pretty much all of this gear up here is our camping equipment. With the exception of these boxes over to the side right here, we have our brad nailers in those. This workbench is probably one of my favorite pieces of shop furniture just because it works really well as an outfeed table, and it holds the router table as well as the planer. It's got these tiny little casters on it that don't hold it very well. It doesn't roll as well as I would like it to, so maybe in the future I'll probably end up putting some new casters on it that are better for bearing the amount of weight that it does. So this is the original workbench. This was actually here in the house whenever we bought it back in 2014. And since then we've made a few modifications, such as my dad painting it. And then he and I actually built some of the shelving down here on the bottom. That way we were able to store a few things such as my spring clamps. And then we actually used these buckets for dust collection. And then clearly our shop vac as well. This is my drill press from my brother that I got a few Christmases ago. And it's one of those tools that I've only used a handful of times, but I'm super thankful that I have it whenever I do need to use it. One of my favorite things about the shop is that we do have custom pegboards that my dad and I made out of a few sheets of plywood. And it has been super helpful getting to sort of customize where we get to put all of our tools and store everything on them so they're within easy reach. So this is our temporary radio and light shelving. We've wanted to put cabinets up here for a while. As you can tell, we haven't really gotten around to it, but it's super helpful. We have a 2-foot light bar on here that sits on the other side of this trim, just because it is way too bright to have right in your face. And then during the summer, it gets really hot here in Houston, so it's really nice to have this little fan right here pointed at us while we work over the bench. Whenever my dad and I come out here to work together, we normally listen to the radio. But recently, I started bringing my Bluetooth speaker out here so I get to listen to my playlist while I work. This is sort of a high traffic area for me just because I'm normally using wood glue all the time. I love this little perch for my speed square. And then I also have my paint can openers right here for whenever I'm opening cans. This wall is a lot to dissect. It primarily has a lot of our handheld power tools. It has my waffle clock. It has the Ryobi battery charger right there. And then this side is primarily yard equipment and then pretty much anything that you would need to use outside of the house. Directly above the pegboard, we have our longwood storage. Just about anything over 5 feet normally sits above here. This is our beloved toolbox Big Red. We've had it for quite a while, and it's pretty much just a miscellaneous toolbox. It has sandpaper, hole saws, Allen keys, gloves, safety glasses, pretty much anything you need whenever the time comes to use it. Dad orders a lot of things from Rock Auto, so as you can tell, these are all the magnets that he has acquired over time. Over here on the other side, I managed to slap a Big Red sticker on it. This is just the opposite side of the garage. This is my mom's storage for some of her own tools and everything. This cabinet is identical to my mom's on the other side, but on the inside we have primarily hardware. We got propane, we actually have a lot of fuel in here for some reason. But we also have wood glue and then brake fluid, and then also, as I said, hardware such as screws and bolts and nails and everything that you would ever want. This toolbox is aptly named Little Red. This one is actually older than Big Red. We had this at our old house for quite a while before we upgraded. But now this just holds just about anything you would need for drywall or paint work, as well as anything that you would need for electrical work. Up above Little Red, we have our spray paints and spray finishes. And to the side of that, we have our automotive cleaners and then also just any general cleaning solutions. And then this is the newest addition to the shop and arguably the most exciting. My dad bought this, a Softail Heritage, a few months back, and so this has been a lot of fun for him. I'm hoping to get my license in a matter of months, so hopefully I'll be able to take this out myself. I recently graduated with a degree in construction science from Texas A&M. I'll be heading back out to San Antonio to do some construction work out there, but I'll still be coming back here on the weekend to do woodworking in general. I still need to build a lot of furniture. I also have a lot of projects that I've done in the past year and a half or two that are in my queue that I have a lot of footage for, and so I just need to get those edited and then also posted as well. So be looking forward to those. So that's pretty much it. If y'all think there are any better alterations or changes or suggestions in general for this to be a better workspace, please be sure to leave some comments down below. And as always, please be sure to stick around for more content.